Follow me, say good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is J. Joshua Kepa. I'm here on the conversation today. Edition will be featuring the people from Cayman County. I'm here with my co-host James Conan Power Sr. And we have two great men from Grand Cayman County who will be telling us about what is unfolding in the Cayman community here in the diaspora. Mr. Emmanuel Massaquet Hassan Conan will be talking to us and joining us on this edition of the conversation. If you are from Grand Cayman County, it will interest you to come and listen and support where you come from. Folks, as we play this music, and right after that, we will have the gentleman to introduce himself and we'll keep the ball rolling.
Open the blind.
All right, folks. Truth is, I can understand why what I was saying was a very beautiful traditional music. Uh, there's not too much imported sound and all the kind of made up. The natural voice of Grand Cayman County. So, gentlemen, let me say welcome to the conversation. Could I, well, a lot of guys will introduce themselves, then we can follow suit. So, gentlemen, welcome to the conversation, and then you can start with your introduction, and then from there we can keep the ball rolling.
Okay. Well, Sam, you want to go first?
You want me to go first? 'Cause, I think would that be the appropriate order of business?
All right, I can go first. So hello, everyone, social media land. My name is Emmanuel Masekwai. I am the national president for the National Association of Cape Mountaineans in the Americas, NACA for short. This is our diaspora organization that brings together folks from Grand Cape Mount County residing in the diaspora, specifically the United States of America. I am a son of Tiwa District, parents from Godama and Gon, as well as Manyen, Bese. Those are all of my relations. But I'm glad to be a part of this show today. And Mr. Joshua Power and his team, thanks for the invitation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll move on to Mr. Hazan.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Power and team. My name is Hussein Kani, former president of NACA 2012 to 2016. I have served the organization for 4 years, and I still continue to serve the organizations. Our current status is focus on our national convention, which is coming up on October 7, to be precise. So I serve as chairman for the national convention this year in Ohio. And I just want to reach out to the Ohio community to say thank you for all the support so far that we have received. In preparation for this convention, we hosted a fun day, which was very successful. The community came out and supported us very well. With reference to Cape Mount, I am from Bonzwan Town, Gaula District, Grand Cape Mount County. My parents' home is Manival, which is a town of the main road and about half an hour from Bonzwan. But I grew up in Bonzwan, and I attended my primary education in Bonzwan from pre-K all the way to 6th grade before I transitioned to Morovia. So I just want to say thank you to Joshua and his team for this opportunity, for allowing us and sharing his platform with us for our convention.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kurant. Change muted. Change your muted.
Sorry, I thought you were still talking to our guest. Well, it's a pleasure to sit on the same platform with the hierarchy of Cape Mount that happens to be a sister county to Bomi County from where I hail. And I want to say I'm honored to sit with you guys, and there's a common saying in Africa, one good turn deserves another. I remember the Prezo a few days ago, few weeks ago, let me say weeks ago, you were somewhere in the National Bomi Convention hailing me, and the national president for our works. And then you spoke, and we honor you because you are a very, articulate person. And I think being here today is for a worthy cause. And so, Mr. President, one good turn deserves another welcome, and we look forward to having a very interactive discussion. But I can assure you, it's all about Grand Cape Mount County, and I can tell you, I'm half and half from Cape Mount, half from Bomi. But let my half from Cape Mount be hidden today, and let me just speak to the issues. So I'm Power for short. Dakeme is the Gola title I attached to myself to say, the uncle of the power, because this guy is a power, but he's from Grand Baza. There are other powers from Nima, so I happen to be the uncle of the powers. So call me Dakeme Power. It's nice to be
here. That's interesting to know. Thank you, and thanks for being affiliated with Bomi, because those are all the same people. Well, we got to respect that now. He's from the Western region, and the Western region folks love their title.
Yeah, absolutely.
good thing is I work in Cayman and grew up. Let's say not really grew up, but lived in Bombing for a couple of years. And I work in most of your district. You called me. I work in the capital where I was put. Went on your very beautiful beaches and Gawula district. I know that very well. I work in. Is it how do you call that last time before Bowl? Is it Tierney?
TNE, TNE.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Jenny.
I work in Tierney and work in most of the area doing the do my days in the NGO setting. So I know where you come from. It's a beautiful area, beautiful people. Um, but we are here to discuss issue that matter most to Grand Cayman County. It is a good thing that when you travel and you come to this place, you don't forget about where you come from. So, gentlemen, I'll just open the floor to you.
Hey,
Tell us. Yeah.
Joshua, before you go far, let me just spice up a little bit. I took my wife to Liberia, and then, fortunately, I took her to the heritage of Cape Mount County. And it would interest you to know that if you haven't recognized that my wife still calls your wife Tierney. Sometimes she misses the Tanya and calls it Tierney because of the reception she got when we got in Tierney town, all the way we went through the Jenewene Belt and all those areas. But I just thought to say a little bit because sometimes when my wife call your wife name, I would say, no, it's not the town. Say Tanya, not Tierney.
Yeah. So, gentlemen, welcome to the conversation with Power. Here, we respect our guests. We discuss issue that is on ground. We want to know why you are here and what can the community do and what we should expect from this conversation.
Okay. So I guess my chairman is going to say for protocol, I should go first again, right?
Yeah.
Well, usually, so I think I will defer that to you, putting protocols aside, because the question specifically has to do with, you know, for the convention. So let me let you plug at it, and then maybe basically I can reemphasize some points. So I'll yield the floor to you, Mr. Connie.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Well, our purpose here is just to reach out to the community at large. Columbus in particular, because the convention is going to be in Columbus, but we also want to reach out to Liberians across the country because every platform have its extension. So currently, we have done everything that we need to do in preparation for this convention, and this platform is just one of the opportunity we're trying to use to reach out to the community at large in Columbus. And personally, since I relocated to Ohio 2 years ago from New England, particularly Rhode Island, I see there's a lot of interesting thing going on in Columbus that I feel maybe other states can adapt. And one is LICI, the way LICI communicate or connect with the community. I want to acknowledge that. But with reference to NACA, NACA has 10 chapters across the United States. Ohio happened to be one of the chapter, and the Ohio chapter is referred to as ACMO. So ACMO this year is hosting our convention, and we just want to reach out. The convention is focused, the key or highlight of the convention is for us to raise money to fence a healthcare facility in Sinji, Grand Cape Mount County, Gala District, Grand Cape Mount County. And the reason is very, very simple. This facility has been built, but there is no security around it. So even if patients rush into the medical facility, there's no security for them to contain, to allow the healthcare workers to do their work. So that's one of the reasons this year we prioritize that project so that we can be able to raise funds to support that project. We have other projects in the pipeline, and I will give the president the opportunity to elaborate on that. But the the fencing of the Singe Healthcare Center is the primary reason for this convention. So I will end there for now and give Mr. Massaquoi, our national president, the opportunity to elaborate more.
Okay. Well, thank you, Mr. Conan, and Joshua. Hats off to you, brother. You are a community motivator. In essence, you've used your platform to bring awareness to information, situation, and occurrences within our community at large. And I just want to thank you for that, because not too many people would do that. And you do this from the threshold of your heart. Providing us this free option. Takambe, my brother, from thanks for the support.
Just say from Grand Cape Mount County.
Yeah, but that's why I call him my brother. Wait a minute now. Yeah, I'm not mistaking my words. The man get the Gola title. So, but in a nutshell, Liberia, the development of Liberia has to be done one county at a time. And all of us as Liberians, we have to rally around each other to make that country better, or to continue to build it up, because that's the only country that we have. And when we find ourselves here in the diaspora, it's equally important that we come together for a single goal, which is basically, getting resources together so that we could channel some developmental efforts back home. It is challenging, to say the least, but it doesn't mean that it cannot be done. So the National Association of Cape Mountaineers in the Americas, NACA, was actually established back in 1986. We've had over 320 projects and counting across the county. That involves healthcare, infrastructure, agriculture, education, etc. Now, under my administration, we focus heavily on healthcare and education, because the metrics for healthcare, not just in Cape Town, but in Liberia as a whole, is alarming. We all have relatives in Liberia that have died from preventable causes. Something as little as thing that you would think would be an outpatient here is basically a death trap for our brothers and sisters in Liberia. And so we have continuously worked with the healthcare institutions in Cape Mount. About 2 years ago, we donated over 700,000 worth of medical equipment to the county. That was distributed all across the county. NACA was actually the first organization that reopened the St. Timothy Health Center in Robertsport. Josh, you were in Robertsport, I'm sure you're aware, the hospital on the hill. Mm-hmm. And then we've linked with tertiary clinics, etc. So, the work is ongoing. In education, we've done some inroads. We've had seminars, we've had symposium. We've actually had our members here in the past leave America, go to Liberia, and have symposium and workshops with teachers just to increase the capacity of education. For this year, we actually work directly with the Cape Town University Student Association to have a 2 weeks tutorial for all of our schools within Grand Cape Mount County, senior students who were actually sitting the WASEC exam. As both of you could allude to that, and I'm not going to brag here, but Cape Mount, has been considered in the past as one of the cradles of education. People send their children from every part of Liberia to Cape Mount because of the discipline and education. Well, unfortunately, even in that metrics now, I think Cape Mount for the past few years has been just going down that metric, instead of going up. So we need to increase that capacity as well. But there's so many things, so many projects in Liberia that that we need to do, and unfortunately, we can't do all at the same time. So the result is we established this organization to come together to put resources together so that we can undertake one project at a time, one impactful project. In the past, we've spent over 250,000 in building a bridge that connected a couple of villages as well. But there is still more to be done. So today we are coming on this platform to announce to you all that NACA is having a convention, or 20th convention. So NACA has been around for over 20 years now, as you can imagine. But we will be having our 20th convention here in Columbus, Ohio, which fortunately is the seat of the national president. So we have to make sure everything goes well. So there's a lot on my shoulder. And then also, fortunately, our former president also has relocated to Columbus, Ohio, in the name of Mr. Hussein Khan. So it is also a heavily built on his shoulders. So people are coming with a higher expectation. But we want to connect to all of the Liberians within Columbus and beyond. We want everyone to be aware, so we want to create this massive awareness for our national convention. Again, to raise funds, as Hussein rightly stated, to address these challenging needs in Liberia. And right now, the priority is to focus on health center because of so many other reasons, including security, including healthcare, because you have the cattle roaming the areas. They are actually eating all of these biohazard um, materials. And then, these animals get killed and humans consume these animals. And then what happens? That transmission of disease continues. And then we have the security effect wherein, if a patient is carried to the hospital, for instance, or to the health center, and that patient possibly is a HIV patient, you have people actually storming the walls of the hospital to see who the patient is. So there is absolutely no privacy as well. You have people from the town. Some of you who, if you guys know St. J, it's actually located right up the hill. So you have people from the town who actually will rush to the health center if they think they, and just muscle their way in for so many different reasons. So sometimes the risk of lives of the healthcare workers has to be considered. So there's tons of reasons why it's extremely important to have this fencing project and to raise funds towards that. We will also be having a queen contest. So we do that every other year. So again, this year, most of the beautiful women within the chapters are going to be vying for Miss NACA 2023. So again, we need the community support. We are currently asking our community to put their hands around all of us to make this work, to make sure this program is successful. Because again, all of the funds that are raised goes directly to benefiting our brothers and sisters in Cape Mount. And like I said earlier, the development of Liberia has to be taken one county at a time. So all of you listening, we are encouraging you all to come to the convention ball October 7th, starting at 7 p.m. We don't want you arriving anytime before 8. So again, we urge you to be on time. And we promise you that it will be a fun-filled event. There wouldn't be a lot of talking. We'll make sure there is fun, while at the same time we solicit help, assistance towards these programs. Thank you, gentlemen.
Good explanation. Koda, you want to pick it up on that?
Sure. And I want to thank you, Mr. Masakwe, both Mr. Masakwe and Mr. Corner, for a beautiful expose on the intent of this notable organization. We are aware before our entry into the United States about the existence of the Cape Mountainian Association. And we are also aware about the great things you guys have done. But like, it is easily said and done. People sometimes try to capture the intent of the organization without inquiries and just land into a result like, okay, in community need assessment, sometimes it is said it's better to sit with the people and know what is given as a priority, what should be a priority in the community development of that component of the county. Did you guys do any feasibility study to know whether this project you are about to embark on is a priority? That's just my first concern.
Yeah. So let me address that. And I think we come from the same school of thought. It wouldn't make sense for any of our county organizations here, for the most part, to actually sit and decide on project back home. I think it has to be done the reverse. The reverse has to be the appropriate method. So I visited Liberia 2 years ago. I did a county-wide assessment visit. So at that time, I actually had the opportunity to speak to folks across the county in all of our 5 districts. We visited every district headquarters. We met with town chiefs. We met with superintendents. We've met with commissioners face to face. And when we went to Gawula district, which is where St. J is located, and we visited a hospital, this was the priority of the medical staff and the hospital. And that's why they are 100% in support of this project. The medical doctor, Dr. Kofa, has worked and continues to work closely with NACA. And he has done everything from his end to make sure that this project comes to fruition. So yes, we do have the backing of the entire hospital staff, because they have, and we all know, they have tons of a laundry list of projects. But when you ask them right now, what is the most important thing you want, is the fencing project. They actually took a step further to allocate some county funding as their own contribution towards this project, just to tell you how important it is. So yeah, we've learned from our mistakes more than 2 decades ago now, that it wouldn't make sense to sit here and pinpoint a project in Liberia. And this cut across, all county organizations in Liberia. It's always best to go or ask the people, what is it that you people actually need? Now, some of the needs, it may not be something that we might be able to do, but then at least, when you have a list of priority, you can discuss with them, okay, we can't do this, but what's about this due to the cost or other constraints? So yeah, this project is highly supported, and thank you for raising that question. But that is something that we need to do, because if you don't, there are instances where facilities have been built in Liberia by organizations here, and guess what? Those facilities stay still. It has not been used. It's not useful because that wasn't a priority of the people, and then all of that money goes to waste. So thanks for raising that point, but definitely that's the same route that we are doing right now, making sure we are asking the folks before going forward.
Thank you, Mr. President. Before Joshua take over, my next question is also that goes to both of you, Mr. Masoko and Mr. Conan, whoever wants to answer this. And I'll give you a little backdrop. Back in Liberia, back in the days, there were times where people sat in workshops and got setting fees, and so that tradition was in the minds of a lot of Liberians to think that whatever's supposed to benefit the community must also be benefiting them as participants to the event or whatever the process will be. So that brings to mind, considering that this is a project for the people, and the sons and daughters of Cape May County in the America or the diaspora have thought about giving, credence to their priority by struggling here, navigating the resources of other people's efforts to, grab it and say, hey, this is what you want, take it, because we have the opportunity. We think about home every day. But they will say, okay, this project you're bringing, you want us to do this. So normally, sometimes in project proposing, it is from the community, and what component of it is the financial source going to cover. Is it going to be like a 50-50 thing? Okay, community, you provided manpower, we provided finances to buy the things, to buy the materials that we're supposed to use to do the flag, or are you going to pay? And the reason why I'm asking them, Mr. President, is from experience. My grandfather once said, if you went hunting in the bush and then you caught a groundhog and just held it like that, he said, hold it here and push it to the ground. He probably might have been bitten by that animal before. So I said this to say, is this project going to be a community? Because you already started by saying the hospital, facility itself have started initiating participation to this process by getting the ball rolling, and the county, allotting component of the county development fund to that project. But when it comes to the Cape Mount Association component, is the community going to participate into this project, with the willingness to be a community with no effort of being paid for the service? Brother, you got to make this point clear so that anybody from Cape Mount will understand that, okay, we're not paying you for the thing here. We from Cape Mount too. This is why we're gathering. When we send it on the ground, you're on the ground. You got to be available to make it work. So my question is in this direction. I hope you understood what I mean, Mr.
Yeah,
President.
I do, and that's a valid question as well, and it needs some clarification. So the thing is, whenever there is a project in Cape Mount, again based on the project, there has to be buy-in, there has to be participation from the local community, there has to be ownership. Because if you don't and you alienate everyone and just have a project, most times the people feel, well, we aren't part of it, and they don't hold it so well. So we believe in collaboration, but equally so, there are some projects that the collaboration may be in a different format, as opposed to the financial assistance. So let me break this down a little further. When we have the Konja Bridge project, and I think Hussein is, Mr. Corner is a lot more aware on that, we included the community. People were doing crush rock, donating crush rock. People were donating this item, that item. At the end of the day, the process was successful. It involves the entire community. But here's also the setback. The projected amount for the project was overshadowed, I think 2 or 3 times full. Only because you have some people also who will promise material things and you never heard from them. So you made the initial projection based on the fact that, all right, the senator said he will bring 2 truckloads of sand, maybe at a cost of, I'm throwing a number out there, $5,000 or $7,000. And so you subtract that from the overall projected amount. Now, at the end of the day, when it comes to the point that person, that responsible person, doesn't fulfill their obligation, then again, you have to look at other sources of the funding. So this year, what we decided, and that also you look at the timeliness of the project. And again, we are learning from mistakes, and as organizations, we continue to learn as we grow. So the timelessness of the project also gets affected because for every project proposal, there has to be all of this information included or embedded, the cost, the time, completion date, and everything. All of these fiscal or accounting procedures have to be included. So that also affected the projected end time of the project. And when a project lags, there is a cost to it. So time and time again, we're going back to our same people, asking them for money, and then they created a financial fatigue or financial burnout to the point that people weren't willing any longer to do that. What we set out to do this year with this fencing project, and the estimated cost is around $25,000, which is hopefully, once we gather some funds, that would be within our range. Is we've talked to the hospital. So yes, they've talked with the county health team to set aside this amount towards that. But we also had a rally sometime last year in the town itself, wherein we call prominent citizens of the town to come in and rally for this project. In our Liberian style, as little as it was, I think we raised between 3 to 500 United States dollars. But again, looking at the financial status of the people, that was acceptable. At least that they have done something towards this project. But in the execution of the project itself, once we have the available funds, we are actually going to use a company. We've received bids from 3 different companies within Cape Mount. We averaged out the bids. We've talked to them. We've squared out everything. We've looked at the completion time frame, what it takes, etc. So we have all of that information. The thing is, we want to make sure when we start this project, there is money to complete the project, that there is no prolongation of the project. And that's what we instead going with for companies. So yes, we've received input from the folks. We've received assistance from people within St. J Town itself and Gawula District, some very prominent citizens. But instead, we want to make sure we use the power of a construction company, because then we can hold them responsible. We can take them to task and say, all right, the project was supposed to be completed in 3 months' time. Why it hasn't been completed? So there's a lot of financial things that we can put in place to make sure the project is monitored. We do have our coordinator on the ground in Liberia that represents our county here. So our county coordinator is there, and he also has some coordinators that work along with him. So that's what we want to do this year. Now, do the people understand where our funding comes from? Yes, they do. Even with understanding, and we all know, they think NACA is still, any organization in the diaspora is sitting on a mountain on a boatload of money. No, we're not. So doing my county tour, I actually painstakingly took time to explain to our people how NACA and other diaspora organizations receive their funding. We are not sitting on a boatload of money. I wish that were the case. We will quickly develop Cape Mount and other counties. But our funding comes from solicitation and goodwill from our members. And that is, membership due, something as small as car wash, food sale, etc. And I told these people, sometimes we may have a fundraiser for only $200 or $300. But what do? We put that money aside for those projects. So we have to keep sounding the message that NACA is not for profit. The job that I do, which takes away from my daily job to feed my family, is purely not for profit. What Mr. Kone has done for the past 4 years and continues to do is purely not for profit. This is all sacrificial, sacrificial things that we are all doing to help our brothers and sisters. Only because we are fortunate to be here, and hopefully, if we work harder, we may have at our expense something to help out with. But absolutely, for every other project, we want to make sure we gain the community agreement, their participation. Want to make sure that we value them, but want to also let them know that even if NACA fund most of the project, you also have to be a part of this project, because it's going to benefit you. When we finish this hospital, it's going to benefit them more than it is benefiting me or is benefiting Mr. Kone or any one of us here. But at the end of the day, also, some of us may want to retire, and live in Liberia. And you all know the pristine beaches in Cape Mount. I'm sure you dream of going there. So again, that will also benefit us sometime in the long run. But in the short term goal, it's definitely going to benefit the people who are residing there as well. So it's a whole concept, and we'll continue to explain this idea to make sure that our brothers and sisters understand this. Again, because we all need to come together whenever these projects are being held to make sure that it is successfully implemented. And not just that, after the implementation stage, what we don't also take into consideration is the fact that we need to make sure that renovations and other things are always carried out for these projects, so that, in the long term, it is sustained. But yeah, definitely those are all of the areas that we look at. So we may have a project that doesn't warrant too much of a financial involvement. And then in that way, we may solicit goodwill and other things, material support from our folks. And there are other projects where we will let them know and see how much they can willingly contribute. But in those areas, at times, NACA then stands to contribute a higher percentage of the project towards its completion and succession. Thank you.
Yeah. Mr. Power, Mr. President, Emmanuel Massaquoi, if I can just add or share light on some of the experiences we have in the past. NACA has been around for a long time. NACA was around before the Civil War broke up in Liberia. And during the Civil War, everything pretty much shut down in Liberia. So during the Reconstruction, the early stage of Liberia Reconstruction, NACA was revitalized or rebirthed. And during that rebirth period, Mr. Abraham Masale was the first president that served NACA. And then it came down to Wole Givens and then me. And during those years, we identified some of the issue and challenges that Cape Mount or Liberia as a whole has faced with reference to people in the diaspora trying to help with projects. So the bridge project that the president mentioned, I was the reconstruction chair at that time. We connected with the people in the area. People provided financial assistance and the labor and a lot of other stuff that we didn't expect that they had the power to contribute. And that's a common mistake that many organizations made in the diaspora trying to help, because they feel, the people cannot be in partnership. So, and we identified that issue during that time. So we created a strategy for community empowerment. So every project we try to do from that point on, we try to make sure that there's an expectation set for the people at home and expectations set for what we can do. So that's the partnership we have been working with over the years. And I think it has worked in our collective interest to move NACA forward and to help with the necessary challenges on the ground.
Gentlemen, you have spoken very well, and I am very glad that you can come here to discuss what matters most to your community, your county, where you come from. I just few things I would just want to talk about. When I was in Liberia, I heard about the Basel Association. They got active in America, and they had a very big program. They were telling us about UNAMBOA, and it was my dream that one day if I travel to the US, I want to see this UNAMBOA. I want to be part of it because it's a good thing. Not many people can remember where they come from. For you to this is a sacrifice. You're taking your time, taking off time, spending your money just to help people back home. It brings me joy when I put smile on somebody's face. So I think you guys are doing a very good job. I just want to pick in one of the comments you made, Emmanuel, about to develop Liberia, you gotta be one country after another. That is something I've been talking about on this show. To develop Liberia, we have to do a country development. If every one of you here from Grand Cayman will say, you know what, I'm going to build my house in Grand Cayman, I'm going to build school in Grand Cayman, I'm going to do something tangible in Grand Cayman. I don't know how big your membership is, but if you get 100 Caymantinians that will go and build 100 homes in Cayman, those will be modern homes. It will not be task houses. It brings beauty to Cayman. That's what made Nigeria very powerful. Every Nigerian man that got house in Abuja got house in the village. Because Christmas, everybody going back home. If we all can develop where we come from, I think we minimize the witchcraft thoughts in our mind that somebody want to kill you because it has not been all you be all that. Everything has not want to kill you. So it is a good initiative, and the only way we can develop Liberia is we do a kind of development. We all can live in Monrovia. We all can live in the capital city. But if you go to Gouda and build your house, and 10 other friends from Gouda in the diaspora go and build there, the guys in Monrovia, they'll be jealous. They want to go build there too. So I mean, I just want to pick on that. But my question is, when you had your fundraiser, the community turned out, people went there, people supported your, people supported it. My concern is, how connected are you with the people back home? Do you have a liaison that you can depend on, that you can trust whenever you want to send your fund? I know you want to use a community organization, but do you have a representative back home that you can say, when we want to do the day, person will be there for us? Because you'll not be there all the time, you want to go to the company, but you must have somebody that can be you in your interest.
Yeah, and thank you, Mr. Powell, for that. And I think that that word hopefully resonates with all of us, that the development of Liberia could be looked at one county at a time. We have to empower each other and support each other to going back to building Liberia. We don't expect foreign countries or Europeans to build Liberia. Yes, we'll have some funding from them, but it is our ultimate responsibility. Now, in terms of the Feed Day program and other projects that we've had, NACA has a country director that resides in Liberia. So our format is the county director basically is like the position that I hold here. And he actually has been in that position. He has worked with past administrations, Willie Givens and Hussein Conan as well. And then we have coordinators. So Cape Mount has 5 districts. So we have 5 coordinators for every one of those districts. So for example, if we send specific item, maybe to Gola Connect district, for an example, it goes to the country director. Again, everything is monitored. And then the country director works with that coordinator within the district to make sure that item gets delivered. And I will give you an example. I think last year or so, we were giving donations of wheelchair that we actually sent to Liberia. Now, the wheelchairs were meant to be distributed all across the county. So first thing is, we do have a list of all of the clinics, the healthcare facilities within the county. We work closely with the country director and the coordinators to actually list the need. So there were some healthcare facility that maybe needed just a wheelchair. Some clinics that needed just a wheelchair, and there were other health facilities that needed, 5 or 6 or 7 wheelchairs. So we proportion that based on the needs. And then once the wheelchair made it to Liberia, our country director is tasked with the responsibility of getting that from either the storage or the port, taking that to one of the ideal or central locations in Cape Mount, which usually is around St. J. And then all of their coordinators will converge in St. J. They will also have the list that NACA has. They will go over all of the distribution list, and then that wheelchair will start finding its way all across the county, whether it's by car, pickup, motorbike, however. And for every one of those distributions, we'll receive video footage, we'll receive pictures of the delivery and everything, and it's all archived. So yes, definitely we tend to work in that manner because, again, it comes to empowerment, it comes to valuing our people, it comes to a collective participation. I want to make sure everyone is involved. So if we send 20 wheelchairs to Liberia, it's not just the country director that knows that. There are other levels within the county that are aware and making sure that those wheelchairs or whatever health materials are distributed directly across the county. But yeah, definitely we'll continue to work in that regards because we think it produces one of the best results in terms of accountability, responsibility, and all of that.
Yeah, Mr. Power.
Yes, sir.
If I can do a follow-up on that. And with reference to what you said about Liberia development can be reflected through county development, which is true. One of the things that NACA have identified over the years is that there have been a lot of development projects in Liberia that went on, even some are UN sponsored project and stuff. And we have not realized the difference in development. So one of the strategy NACA have adopted is to build a community resource center so that we can showcase how we want development to be done in the county, and also to encourage the local people to use their natural environment, because a lot of time the people feel that everything have to come from abroad or the Western wall for them to be able to live a comfortable life. And we feel that during my administration, this is some of the area that I focus on, and I feel that we have to be able to use our natural surrounding to be able to live a comfortable life, to create or to create the kind of material or finished product that we need, that we consider to be comfortable from the Western wall. This is one of the area that we are focused on. We have a project right now in the pipeline that have been in the pipeline over the years that is focused on this. By us showing the people how to use their natural surrounding to be able to build, it will also transform the development of Liberia. Okay, by showcasing certain things. For example, if the people ask that they need a health clinic, if we have something set up, at a resource center that reflect the kind of health clinic that we or they feel, can serve them, then if any district want to build something like that, we already have the model. We already have the pilot project that can be replicated in different districts. So these are some of the ways we are strategizing to kind of encourage the people and motivate them to use their natural surrounding for them to be able to make a difference and create a comfortable life for themselves. We don't have to import everything to Liberia to make it look nice.
All right, folks, if we just join the conversation, my name is J. Joshua K. Power. I'm here with my uncle, Conan Powell Senior. But this show is also live on YouTube, on J. Joshua K. Power channel. And so if you want to go back and watch it, you can watch it on YouTube. You can watch it on YouTube as well, and live on Facebook. And we are here with Emmanuel Massaquoi, National President of the National Association of Cape Martinian in America, and the convention chair and former national president, Mr. Hussein Conan. They are here to talk about their community, the Cape Man community. They are calling on all Liberians living in the city of Columbus. You can be Basel man, you can be Cry and Gill man. The people from Cape Man, they are calling you to come and support their project. We are all intertwined. Tomorrow, as of people you want to have your program, you also need the support from the people of Cape Man. So they are now calling you, and they also acknowledge that you went to the full sale. They acknowledge that you supported them. They are calling you again to come for the coin contest and come for the convention, and to just make the program look great and spice it, and let us just have fun. So folks, if you get joining us, we are discussing about Grand Cape Man County, one of the beautiful places in Liberia, beautiful landscape. If when I am president one day, I think it's around the Gawula area. There's a flat land, very flat land. I would love to meet up or maybe on an airport or a stadium. Very beautiful landscape. It's just flat laying down. those are some of the dreams that I have one day when I'm president. But folks, come out, support great.
Hey, Joshua, hey,
this is the flyer
hold on,
right here.
Joshua, hold on. Did I hear you right? He didn't say, he said when I'm president. So, Mr. President and Mr. former President, Joshua have just on this platform told us that becoming president is an ambition that he possesses in his, in his corridor of strength. He's living with it. He's nurturing it for one day in the future. And so, Joshua, I look forward to that time. Maybe I'll be a campaign manager, but make sure you got plenty of money when that time comes.
Well, Dakami, I was going to say something, but I wanted him to be done because, sometimes people let the cat out of the bag. I won't say sooner, but it's an aspiration. So, I think we can keep this video, this recording. Yeah. So, years down the road, when that time comes, and I tell Joshua, and he said, "Oh, my man, I forgot you." I'm like, "Oh, man, you can't forget me. The video is right here. The video is right here." But again, we have to support each other. That is key. And the reason why I'm bringing this out, I'm not sure if Joshua is done, if I could interrupt or seize this moment.
No, just talking about the event did in time.
Because myself, I mean, we've talked about the intent of
the
event, but
let us support each other. Joshua does a great job. I've been to so many Liberian events within our community, and he is there, rendering support. And I think if all of us continue to do that, we'll continue to build each other up. So, 2 weeks from now, exactly two Saturdays from now, actually, and I think this is a perfect timing to have this discussion. 2 Saturdays from today, ladies and gentlemen, Cape Mountaineans from all across the United States, again in 10 chapters and other guests, will be converging here in Columbus, Ohio. You have supported us in the past. We remain extremely grateful for all of the support we've received from our Liberian community. We are asking you again to come out. We need you. We need your support. We are kindly begging you to come out and support all of us. We are all the same people. If my folks still remember the VAR shop is going to be there. If you know all of the VAR women and the Mende women and the Gola women and from that Western region, they are going to be there. Not that I'm selling anything, but thank you, for the previous support. We are counting on you. Let us continue to support each other. None of us is an island, and let's always remember that no one is as strong as all of us. So let's continue to support each other, to build each other up, to create capacities, to empower each other for a better community and a better Liberia. So again, we look forward to seeing you all. Please come up, support Cape Mount. We need your help. Next 2 Saturdays from now, October 7th, is going to be a fun-filled event where we will reconnect, network, and basically do the most good for our country and for our people. Mr. Conner.
Yes, again, I just want to say thank you to Mr. Power, both Power actually, and I want to extend appreciation for you sharing your platform with us. To the Liberians and Cape Mountaineans out there, whether you live in Columbus or not, the convention is from the 6th to the 8th. Usually we have 3 days of gathering. The 6th will be our welcome night. We are also inviting all Liberians in the Columbus area to join us on that night. It's going to be a fun night. That's our meet and greet night. We will be having fun to kick off the convention. The 7th, doing from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. will be our deliberation, the business meeting. And from 8 p.m. to wee hour will be our ball. We want everybody to come out and support us. Okay. Our convention is for a good cause. We are doing this to help our people home. And we just want every Liberians, whether you live in Columbus or wherever you are, if you cannot make it to the convention, we have a Cash App, Zelle, Media, where you can send donations. We have other projects. This project just happened. The fencing of the senior healthcare center happened to be the priority for this convention, but we have a lot of good projects in the pipeline that we will be needing fund for. So we are trying to reach out to everybody. Please come out and support us. Thank you, Mr. Power. Thank you, Mr. President. And I really appreciate you sharing your platform with us.
Yeah, and if you don't mind, let me also add something just quickly, Mr. Power and my brother Dakami. We are also, on behalf of the National Administration, want to thank the Ohio chapter that is headed by Madam Estella Bracewell as chapter president, and her corps of officers as well, including obviously Mr. Hussein Kone as program chair, for the manner in which they have planned this program. Again, she has some very great people working with her in the likes of Cynthia Massaquoi, in the likes of Wea King. I mean, there's just a whole lot of, I don't want to go through a spear of list, but they all are working tirelessly to make this program a successful one. So again, Madam President, Estella, we want to thank you and members of your administration, and this is directly from NACA. And we look forward to, having a great time. Thank you to gentlemen, again, for creating this platform. Let us all continue to support you too as well, because this is an information sharing and it's very important and vital in our community. Thank you.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Koda, you want to say something before the guys can leave us?
Yeah, so I think there is still a little bit of ingredient that I thought I could just bring on board, guys. From a school of thought and a school of experience, I was once in a certain position as the president of the Ohio chapter of Bomi Association. I was not invited to the event, but I was present. So, and the selfish component of me told me, hey, you weren't invited, so just remain anonymous, Yeah, don't say anything. And let the invited guests do the one, honor the program, do the need for. So this being said, it's possible you've written several organizations to support you in this process. As far as your awareness is concerned, how many local organizations in Columbus have you written and you care to talk about? I mean, inviting them in the open now. As it stands, as president of Ohio chapter Bombing Association, I know I haven't received any communication from you yet, but I know you will, because I am going to be part of the program. So be that as it may, you still need to write my organization. I know you will. But until then, how many organizations have you written in the metropolitan of this great city we all live in, that would be part of your program? I mean, do you care to just talk about it, inviting who all you want to invite? There are great organizations here that always show up to your program. Maybe you're rating some of them and have not rated some of them. And maybe some of them will watch the video later on, because this video is shared on almost all the strong platforms here in Columbus. And somebody will watch it and say, oh, but I'm from the organization. You did not even mention my organization or this and that. So what say you when it comes to the public and organizational connection to being part of your convention or your program?
Okay. Great question as well. So let me take a stab, and I'm sure the chairman could also add. I don't know if he has his list readily available with him. But to my brother Dakami, we invited the National Bomi County Association, and your chapter falls under the National Bomi County Association. Definitely, you're going to be there. If I need to come pick you up, I will. But if that communication hasn't been relayed to your chapter itself, then I will go ahead and serve the chapter its own invitation. The reason we do that is since it's a national organization and the national organization has chapters here, most instances we communicate with the national organization with the hope that then they will communicate directly with the chapter organization. But if that hasn't been the case, I'm sure my brother Willie Musa will get in contact with you. But if not, we will certainly send you a letter, because when it's about Cape Mount, it is about bombing. Okay, the histories are seamless. We share the same values and everything. So there's absolutely no way that we have a convention here and we have a Bombing County Association here and we don't see Bombing County. That's a fox. So readily that would be corrected. It wasn't an error. It was just that, the letters were sent to the National Bombing County Association. So, but immediately after the show, I'm sure Hussein will make sure that you get one. But we definitely look forward to seeing you there. Now, with regards to other organizations, we've written, I think, up to 7 or 8 organizations within the Greater Columbus area, including the United Liberian Association on the North Side, the LICI. We've written most of the county organizations here in Columbus, the Sandwich Association, the Nimba County Association. Again, another example is the Nimba County Association. We wrote the National Association with the hope that the national would then contact the chapter and say, we received this letter, etc. We've written the Bassa Association, so I'm sure Power and all our folks hopefully will be there. And then we've also invited Liberian organizations outside of Columbus. We've invited the Liberian Association of Indiana. We've invited the Liberian Association of Michigan, etc. So as long as we were able to get hold of, presidents of some of the organizations, whether it's within Columbus or outside of Columbus, we send invitation letters because, again, this is a collective effort. We didn't just stop there. We've also invited social groups within Columbus here. As social group, like even the Old Timers Association as well, because we feel there is an impact that they can also make. We've extended invitations to churches as well. So we've sent out invitations, across the group. We really didn't alienate anyone. The only reason why someone may not receive an invitation is either they haven't, maybe we try to contact them, or we don't have their contact, or they have not responded. But it is not yet late. We have 2 more weeks. We still have, letters. And if we can identify any other organization and a president of that organization, definitely we'd be more than happy to reach out to them. We really don't want to sideline any organization. We are of the mindset that every organization is important and every organization brings value to the table. So that's where we are, my dear brother. But definitely, Mr. Kone, I think please try to make sure. I will talk to Musa Willie just to see if he has discussed that with the chapter here, the Bombing County chapter. If he hasn't, then definitely, Dakame, I'm sure Hussein may even hand deliver your letter to you to have that very special.
Before the chairman can come in, I think that was a very salient point and question that James just raised. The Bassa Association here in Columbus is not on the national. So it is important that you write the local chapter that you can see every day, even though it's good to do the protocol, but sometimes the message from national does not come down. The Columbus Bassa is not on a national. So like maybe you send a letter to Bombing National, it might not reach the local intern and they will feel disenchanted. So I will advise that you guys reach out to all the local chapter, leadership that they Bombing, the name and everybody. You can just send them the same thing you send to the national so that they do have it. That if you send that communication to UNABOA, the Columbus Bassa will not receive it.
Okay. All right. So we weren't aware that the Basso County chapter here wasn't part of the National Basso County Association. Again, that is just being brought to our attention here. So Joshua will liaise with you to get the contact information for the National Basso County Association, and then we'll make every attempt to make sure that we send out a letter to the National Basso County Association. Good point. Thank you. Hussein?
Yes, and thank you for bringing that to our attention. So we will definitely follow up on that and connect with you. You have my number, both of you, I think, have my number. So I will be contacting you to so we can send the invitation to the appropriate party for the Basso County Association. But also, I just want to say on this platform that this is one of the reasons we reach out to you guys to share this platform with you so we can reach out to a broader audience, because I have just moved to Ohio 2 years ago, so I don't know the in and out of the community yet, but I'm still learning. So please, if there's any other county organization or social organization out there that we can be referred to, please be free to create that opportunity so we can send them the invitation. And also, whether you are part of any county or social or faith-based organization, everybody in the Columbus area, I just want to say to you, you are invited to the convention. We have enough space to accommodate people. Please come out and support us. And we are sending also the flyer on different platforms. Please, if you see our flyer, please save the date for the convention. Like I said, the 7th is the main event. Please come out and support us.
And Dakame, I don't know if I have your number. I think one of your members might have sent that to me. But if you, I will get with you actually, so you can, or Hussein, so you can send us the information. And then we'll send you yours. But I'll also make sure that President Wade also officially notify you as well.
No, absolutely. Whether Willie has sent me communication on that, I was actually going to make sure from the day I heard about your program, I've made awareness about it in my chat room with my members. Kipman was represented at my program. Even though at the anniversary you weren't there when we wrote you, but you show up at the national convention, which matters. It's one organization. So there's no way you will have a program I won't be present. Even if he didn't communicate with me, I was going to represent the chapter and national positively able to make sure our presence is felt as Bomi County. So no worries.
Thank you.
We will deal with that issue internally, but we will be there,
Thank you.
Before I let go of you, I know Mr. Power himself is the coordinator right here, but this whole program, the awareness, I don't know how far you've gone with now publicity is one of the mega issue when it comes to these programs that we hold. When your program is not well publicized, it sometimes creates conflict for your return, what you expect to get back, because all of the programs we hold as leaders of these communities, we invest with the expectation at the end of the day we get. Like, for instance, the hall, the food, the everything you're going to put together, you putting money into it with the hope that when people show up, knowing the nature of why the program is being here, they're going to support you to make sure you get to, what you want to get, even if not 100%, but 85 to 90, 95%. With that being said, I don't know to what extent is your publicity made. With the wrangling between the North and East side, I always say this. Sometimes it's not right, but it's right to say, Hussein, I'm new like you. We met brother Joshua Power, I guess brother Masakwe here. But me and you, we knew. I came from Texas also. But we still got wrangling between the East and the North side. And now God is helping the both organizations to try to come together. We have our directorates. In our directorates, it tells you who is with the North side and who is with the East side. And then we also have this Joshua knows the name. I probably would not know it, become old faction. There's one phone call that goes to all the phone number in the directory. If you haven't done that, I would say get in touch with the leadership of both the East and North side to communicate with them, write your message, do that phone call, and let the message go to every phone number in the directory. If they have up to 1,000 Liberians in this particular metropolitan, the message is going to go to all of them. Phone call, they will receive it, and they will hear it. I bet you will want to do that. I'm just giving an admonishment when it comes to that. 2, if you're not part of a lot of the platforms here in Columbus, I think one of the ways to also help is to, if you got under the tree is a Liberian oriented, but spread around. I think Mr. President is part of that organization. It's a very viable organization. When you post anything, it goes big. Joshua being the former president and founder of the Northside Association, it also helps. And so I'm willing. Look, and the reason why I want to get involved into the Cape Mount Association is not because I'm half from there. It's because in these times, we need one another to make sure the aim of the program is, experienced or achieved.
My man, we know where you come from now. Ali, I'll tell you, you for the day you want wrong, we know where you.
My man, the good thing, my man, I can go anywhere I run. I can go in Cape Mount run. I can go in Bommy I run.
For real. Don't go in my district. No,
for real. And in my and let me just backdrop a little bit. Let me tell you, not because of what he just said. Cape Mount Bommy, in fact, the Western region has been like a paramount thing on my mind. Every time I work with an NGO that try to give some provision to the people, I went there. When the malnourishment was in Liberia, we took a project back in. And it was interesting to know. I just want to share a little bit of fun before I come to my last question, right? So this program was meant for malnourished kids. So I took the program to Konja. I took it to Sinjay. I took it to TNE.
I mean, we'll get more million.
I come here, bro. Genuine, Damala. I mean, just to name a few. I took the program to all of these communities with the intention of having malnourishment. And guess what? The people of Cape Mount, Bommy, and Bapulu counties, they know how to feed their children so much that you couldn't even get 0.01 malnourished children.
Wow.
Yeah. All the children were well nourished. So the best thing I could do, the supplies were still good. They were also economically helping families. I still kept the program running and put some people on the program on a deceptive mechanism. I'm publicly saying it today that I lie so that Bommy, Cape Mount, and Bapulu counties could benefit this program because there were no malnourished in those counties. But they had to benefit the program anyway because I took it there.
Yeah.
And we were able to give the supplies to the people, not because we wanted to be greedy, but because I just felt they needed it. So with this being said, brother, everything that any diaspora intention for the better good of the county over there is good. It's positive. So as I'm sharing this moment with you, let me just ask you the last question, and I pause until Joshua closes the show after your closing comment. As far as the program is concerned, what is the message that we haven't heard that is important for this program? What is that message? Something that you probably did not put on flyer. I can tell you, Emmanuel, you can write everything on the flyer, brother Hussein. You can write everything on the flyer. The flyer just takes summary, caption of our intent. They say convention. What is a convention? We don't know what is a convention, but you just put convention. So this whole thing, what message is there that you haven't put on the flyer that we need to know about comes this program? That's my last question.
Okay. Well, the comment, thanks for touring Cape Mount and for helping. And don't be bothered by Joshua's comment that regarding where to run. That makes you a utility man. You can run in Grand Bassa. We support you. You can run in Bomi, obviously. You can run in Cape Ma. I mean, definitely. You can even run Bapula district or Bapolu district. I'm sorry. So you're utility man, you're a utility player when it comes to that. But on a serious note, let's go back. Let me take a step back to the publicity. The reason why we reached Joshua and Cole is because we know there is an absolute need to reach across every Cape Mountainian residing, not just in Columbus, but in Ohio and the boundaries beyond Ohio. And we know this platform reaches wide and far. We understand there are a lot of Liberians on the north side that we haven't been privileged to come in contact with. But I'm also grateful that we're able to connect with the leadership there through Mr. Joshua Power. We've sent our official invitation to the leadership there. We asked them also to help us promote the flyer and that information as well. Ramona, hello there to you as well. So we need you guys' help. I think you spoke of the directory. The only directory that we have had access to and that we are using right now is the LICI directory, which is the phone system, to actually carry out a couple of phone announcements. But I think after this engagement, we plan to reach out to you and Josh and to the president as well to see whether we could be granted some access to that directory to write a message, as you rightly said, so that that message could be taken across that platform. Again, our goal is to reach every Liberian. We are not going to stop short of that. This is an open invitation. So please, even for those who feel that we haven't gotten in contact with them directly as of today's date, let me offer my apologies for now in advance. But again, let me also follow that up with an open invitation. This is about us. This is about Liberia. This is not just Cape Mount. We made attempt to speak via Loma and Gola, but we try not to do that. We make sure we speak English because it's about Liberia so that everyone understands as well. What we haven't communicated on the flyer, like you rightly said, we cannot put all of the information on the flyer. Obviously, it will bring some level of confusion. The message is simple. Cape Mount needs your help. Liberia needs the help of all of us. And all of us have to work in our own different ways towards the development and capacity building of Liberia. So we want you to come and support Cape Mount. By extension, you will be supporting Liberia as well. Let us work tirelessly and effortlessly in developing our country. Most of us would like to retire to go back home. If not, we want to go back home every year. There are beautiful places in Liberia or across Liberia, from the western region to the southeastern region, that we have not even touched. And I think there is more to Liberia than all of us think. So together, we'll work on that in achieving that. But again, on behalf of my national administration, my apologies to anyone who hasn't been invited yet, but I'm also using this platform, taking advantage of this time frame to wholeheartedly invite all of you to NACA's convention. The main day is going to be on Saturday, wherein we have the fundraiser, we have the Queen contest, we have good food from all of the Varco shop in Liberia. I think we'll be importing all of the food directly, if Hussein can bear me right,
Yes.
from the Varco shop in Liberia. So come in, and have this great and amazing time. Let's network. Let's continue to work together. By so doing, we'll continue to know each other. And by so doing, we'll continue to support each other. So it has been an amazing, amazing experience in this journey. But all of us have a story to tell. And ours is what we are telling today. Thank you. Mr. Coney, I will yield the floor to you.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just to dive directly into the question and to add on the president, one of the things that we have really not emphasized in the program or the execution of this convention is the youth. We have cassava leaf challenge to incorporate the youth into the organizations. So the youth, that's the platform that the youth, that is youth efforts that we are trying to encourage. So we have the youth discuss among themselves, and they came up with this idea for a cassava leaf challenge, and that cassava leaf is going to be auctioned at the convention so that we can get the youth involved and also to build that connection with the parents, to the cassava leaf challenge, because we know most of our youth, with social media, just to add a little fun with it, they will Google how to cook cassava leaf and stuff like that. So we are trying to encourage some kind of parents collaboration with the youth to get them to be able to cook their traditional food so that we can use that as something to build more relationship and to get more adults involved and the youth involved to take their county development seriously. So that's one aspect of the convention we really have not emphasized. And it's not because it's not important, but it's because of all the activities that involve in the convention. But also with reference to what the challenges as far as communicating across the board, with the different social media and also the different platform in Columbus and the east and the north side. This is one reason that we reached out to Mr. Power, Joshua Power, so we can connect with the north end, because we feel most of the time the north end has been alienated in some of the program and in some of the awareness. So this is one reason we connected. And not just Liberian, but we are also trying to connect with other Africans, the Ghanaian community, the Sierra Leone community, across Columbus. So this is where we are. And I am thankful that you guys were able to share this platform with us to reach the broad audience of Columbus. Thank you very much.
All right. Okay, folks, we want to draw our curtain on this conversation here. We have been talking about Grand Cape Mountain, and I see some of your great response from the audience. We've been highlighting most of your comments that you've been sending. That shows that you got interest in Liberia as a country, and not just Grand Cape Mountain County and not just Grand Bassa County, but Liberia as a whole. Well, I also want to emphasize on Emmanuel's statement that says to develop Liberia, we must be a county-wise, we must do a county-wide development. And that's the only way, prioritize your country. Go home, do something in your home, support your people, build something, establish something, and Liberia will be the best place to be, because every inventor in the world come from somewhere, and they always start from home. They always do something back home, So it is a good thing that we are now thinking about where we come from, and so the folks from Grand Cape Mountain County, they are here. They seeking for your support. Um, we'll drop the music, and right after that music, the gentleman will have the pattern statement, and then we will call this a day. But I think that was a very good conversation. And if you are interested in calling on the show, we've been posting the number up. You can call this number to maybe ask question or to say something about Grand Cape Mountain and how you feel about them. You can also do that. But this program is live on Facebook and as well on YouTube. You can go by and watch it, and maybe there's something that we said that you want to add on. Well, we are still here and available to answer your question. Emmanuel is very, very easy to reach. Cuisine is also here, community person, and I feel that these guys are good people, and we should do all we can do to support each other, regardless of our political differences. I always tell people, the human say I have political differences. Right after that conversation, I'm done with that thing. I don't have nothing personal against you. So let's keep it that way, and let's put Liberia first because one folks, beautiful Liberian music here from Grand Cayman County, displaying cultures of Grand Cayman. Emmanuel Massaquoi, national president of the Cuban in the America, and the former national president now program chairman of the upcoming national convention that will be hosted here in Columbus, Ohio. If you are living in the Columbus Bell, Dayton, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Accra, you are invited. If you are Liberians staying here in Columbus, you are invited. Regardless of your tribe, regardless of your affiliation, the people of Great Cayman County, where Senator Vanny Shimon come from, where Representative Taylor come from, the people are here to support the development of Liberia. They have good dreams. They want to build fence for the hospital. They want to do so many things. They want to engage with students. They want to give us scholarship. Folks, it is about Liberia. Let's support the process. Let's have fun. My name is Dear Joshua K. Power, and I'm here on the conversation. My uncle, James Koda Sr., is a co-host who has some good time right here. All right. All right, folks. Gentlemen, let me have your patent statement. It was a very good year with you people, and I appreciate the fact that you come on this platform. I personally, I have a side politically, but this platform is not a political platform. It's for the community. You can come here anytime you want to discuss something that is important to you. You want to share information. We are always available to help our community. You can come with your side of political affiliation. We will discuss the issue. Like you see, right under my knee is a let's discuss the issue. It doesn't matter, where side you come from. We may have political. Koda myself, we never agree, but we are hosts and co-hosts on the platform. We got different political views, but when we come here, we discuss the issue. So, gentlemen, thank you for coming. We appreciate you coming here to talk about Liberia. If somebody in Cape Man benefit from whatever you're doing, a Liberian has benefited. A Liberian has succeeded. If you send somebody to school, before that person get PhD and bachelor, the high school fee you pay for them pays the road towards whatever thing they will achieve in the future. So you have done well. If somebody get well, it was because you supported the hospital. So that's why we are here. To somebody say Liberia is the only place that you myself will have in common. I'm from Way Bassa, you from Cayman, far place, but we are from Liberia. So that's the only thing we have in common. Because we don't have a general language. Like the Ghanaians and the Nigerians, other people will do, they got their one language that everybody can understand. We don't. But that colloquial that we can speak, a unique language that we all can identify with. So on behalf of the conversation, I want to say thank you guys for coming, and we appreciate you. We are open anytime. Just let us know what you want to talk about, and we can make things available for you. Mr. Let's start with the chairman on program. We'll make a closing statement, and the national president will close the statement.
Thank you, Mr. Power. Thanks to the Liberian community in Columbus for this platform. And I just want to say thank you to the entire Columbus community of Liberians. As Cape Martinians and as Liberians, we all have the need to work together. We have different challenges, but we all have a common interest to address in Liberia. And Grand Cape Mount happens to be one of those counties that have been the cradle of education. And we, as citizens of Grand Cape Mount County, really want to push for our country to be elevated to that level again. So I want to thank you for this platform. I want to particularly ask the people on the north end to join us, regardless of our personal invite to them. But we want to use this platform to reach everybody. Hopefully, everybody is somehow connected to this platform. When I relocated to Columbus, I kind of was faced with this dilemma that, the east and the north side don't get along. And, I have been talking to people in the background, because when you come to any community, there's always some differences that you or challenge that you will have to address. But I have been talking to people on the background to try to unify the community here. And I want Cape Mount to be part of that discussion, to bring unity in the community. So I just want to say thank you. And with reference to our convention, I'm asking every Liberian that will come across this discussion to please come out and support us under the three Nubian Society, all the faith-based churches in Columbus. Please come out and support us. We will be giving out information, our Cash App information, everything is on the flyer. So if you cannot make it to the convention, please send us your support by Cash App, by Zelle, and Venmo, whatever other media. We have all the contact number on the flyer. Please reach out to us. And I want to say thank you to everybody for helping us to make Liberia a better country. Thank you.
Mr. National President?
Yes. Yes, sir. My appreciation goes out to Mr. Powell and my brother Dakame Powell as well, for allowing us to use this platform to get our messages across. I think this might be a beginning of a brand new partnership, trying to reach as many folks as available. But overall, as we hear the word and as it states, a divided community never stands. A united front always stands up and work for success. My folks used to say if they gave you one steak, you could break it in no time. But if they put pieces of sticks together and tie it and give it to you to break it, you may have to exert some good force in order to doing that. I think it's more beneficial when we come together as a community, with one common interest, as a society and as a nation. It is perfectly fine for all of us to have diverse opinions, to look at things differently. That's the nature of human beings. But at the end of the day, we should all be coming together for the success of each and every one of us. We need all of us here to succeed. There is no way we can succeed without the help of others. All of us who are in the diaspora or who have become, in our own definition of success, what we've seen is someone has helped us along the way. And so we are coming in to ask for that help. The child that is in TNA that may not even know what NACA is about, but receives medical supplies from NACA, that help goes a long way. The pregnant woman in Lofa Bridge who is about to deliver, and possibly there are no medication or not enough medication, except with the intervention of organizations. She's extremely grateful. She may never know that organization, but we've done our part. The boy in town who takes his chair to school or sits on the bare floor to learn. But again, not knowing that the crayons and notebooks, etc., are coming from an organization here who care about them. These are the impact that we want to continue to make. These are what we want to continue to do. And it's going to take all of us to make change happen. Change is good, but it involves a lot of work. And our progress hasn't just been on mere talk, but it has been backed by action. And my appeal to all of the organizations, even in Columbus, let us back our talk by action. Let it show that we care, that we have compassion for our folks. So please, again, come out 2 Saturdays from now, October 7th. Let's work harder to rebuilding Liberia, one county at a time, one district at a time, one city at a time. Let us support other county organizations. Let us all put our hands together and let us share common values and best practices, because that helps. If something doesn't work well for NACA, let's create a platform that we can share that with the Basel County Association, with the Bomi County Association, because at the end of the day, the menu is kind of the same thing. The experiences that we have, they are all the same. To our folks listening to this program, wherever you are, if you can drive to Columbus, drive. If you can fly, fly. If you can walk, walk. But we are looking forward to seeing all of you here 2 Saturdays from now, October 7th, starting at 7 p.m. Come in, let's enjoy our traditional Liberian food, our traditional Liberian music, our traditional Liberian get-together. Let's support the Queen, who is running for Miss Ohio. Again, as national president, I have to be unbiased to supporting all of our queens. But I do understand that I reside in Ohio as well, and there is a queen who is vying to make sure that the crown stays here. So wherever you may be, come out and support the queen, because she don't want other states to come and take the crown away from Ohio. That doesn't only not tell well on NACA, but it doesn't tell well on Ohio. And I know the Buckeye State would not want that to happen. So come and support our fundraising efforts. Be with us. And definitely we look forward to invitations from you so that we can also support you whenever we are called upon. So to our two major friends, our brothers here, continue to do the work that you are doing. It is tedious, it is challenging, we understand, but you're also making an impact in a greater community that we live. So thank you all for hosting us today. This was definitely a very important, very informative session, and we are glad that and honored to have been a part of this. Thank you both.
Joshua, if you're talking, you are muted.
Oh yeah, I was just letting the president know that there are people from Indiana that just give us an assurance that they will be here. The Formula family are going to be here for that occasion. That shows that people are watching from different states, and they will be here to grace that occasion. Kuna, you want to give your party statement?
Well, I like to buttress both brother Emmanuel Massaquoi and brother Hussein Cornet for the national effort they have the endeavor to, plunge into for the greater good of Mama Liberia. Whatever these astute kingsmen have plunged into is not a personal gain, it's a national process, it's a national, endeavor. Liberia lacks a lot of things. And we in the diaspora, when we sit and eat and enjoy, the merits of this country, we think about back home. And I want Liberians back home to applaud the brothers that are in the diaspora that are plunging into these various adventures. These people are not just sitting and doing it because they think it's sweet. They're doing it because they know that home lacks a lot of things. And when we sit in the people country, Joshua, let me leave. I let it too much. When I'm talking about when one speaks in English, can force me to speak my English. Let me forget about this English. Yeah, man. Yeah, my people, y'all know the thing are talking. We that God bless will come to America, we'll go to Great Britain, we'll go to all over play there. When we sit down, it's not easy. The first time Joshua I come to America, just to tell you, say the phone. I know when I was working with United Nations Mission in Liberia, we're having a party, Sector 3 party. The children are standing all near the area. When we eat the food, the remaining one, you just put it on the table. Just turn around before you make up your mind, the children sweep it gone. So I came to America. I sitting and I see almost the whole hall. People not even eat their food. They serve them the food. Put it in trash can. Tears came to my eyes. I said, hey girl, if they want our Liberia, somebody child got food to eat. Because they will be standing around. And we in Liberia, African tradition, we can lead play. Well, Kolamen will say where the remaining food. Some kid would take it and go with it and eat it. And I saw American society, the whole table, bro. And this is my closing, and you will not believe it. And I'm sitting watching the food go in a trash can. Not even like putting it somewhere to say, will you say another day? No, going in the trash can. And I say, wow, somebody child in Liberia is hungry. They might just need this kind of food tonight to feel like they are millionaires. Because you got chicken, you got spare rib, you got turkey, you got this, all in one bowl. What am I saying? These brothers that Kipman have raised to being their leaders have said, you know what? The opportunity to eat anything in the world is right here. We can take all to Africa at once. We can take all to Liberia at once. But gradually, we'll be pushing this. The first thing they say, when I get sick here, I can just call. My husband does not have to take me to the hospital. Ambulance will come. Whoa. And good doctors will treat me. But Liberia, you don't have that merit. You don't have that opportunity. When you're sick, assuming you are living somewhere like Mafala, and you have to get to a rural, community, you have to walk some distance. Good thing now the roads not too bad because people been going back and forth. But let's assume you are living Shasta number 2, a town that is right near La and right near where the town is Benuma. It's in between Benuma and La, but it's in Cape Mount, but Pokpa and Gola district. This town is between 2 districts. The town itself, Adile is in La district. La, clan or whatever clan. But then when you look at the stretch of it, part of it is in Benuma, and Benuma is in Gola Konen district. So, and considering that La and Gola Konen are one electoral district, so it means that La and Gola Konen district, that town is right there. If somebody got sick in that town, you will put it in wheelbarrow or hammer get to the road because you got to cross the Mafa, or on the other side, you got to walk through the forest to go to La. What am I saying? I'm saying that these brothers, Brother Kone and Brother Masakwe, They know the pains that we go through. They know the hardship that Liberians are going through right now. They say, you know what? Let's harness, the pains of our people into component. The problem plenty we can't deal with all at once. They're begging for you. They say, my people, you come support us so we can deal with, some problem in our county. So my word today is to the people of Bomi County, the people of Bapulu County, and the people of Cape Man County that know me. My people, let's show off for Cape Man program. Because you know what? That's a new play they're talking about putting fin around. There was time I used my NGO card. I told somebody that fought down from pantry somewhere around I just forgot the town name again, because we're not still on the side. We drove them to Senye. I don't want to call the person who was the head at that time at the clinic, but we took them to Senye and they were treated there. The people considered this person dead when they fell from the pantry, but they got treated in Senye and they got well. That means that Senye was a clinic and gradually went from clinic to health center and what it is today. Senye have been a relief point for a lot of people in Cape Man County, simply because when the UN decided to use it as a referral concentration point, people used to come from every angle to Senye. Even Tiani, part of Tiani, they will send you to Senye because Senye was was more organized to deal with compact cases versus non-compact cases and stuff like that. So I'm calling on all Bomi County citizens. If you know you're in Columbus, and I'm here, the president, I say, all let's show off for Cape Man program. Let's buy their tickets to go in the hall. Let's sit down and be part of the program. Let make Miss Columbus, me too here, I will do the same thing. Miss Columbus, we can let anybody come from different part of Cape Man to come with the crown here in Columbus that they respect to all in Columbus. No offense. But we in Columbus will not sit down here. Somebody come from way in, Minnesota to say you coming vow for the crown, Cape Man County crown, and we here in Cape Man. Here in Columbus, we who hosting the program. So Bomi County, let's support Cape Man. Let's support them all the way through and make sure the program is a success. Mr. Masakwa, Mr. Cornyn, no matter how the publicity goes, I can assure you one thing. Bomi County will be represented and in its fullest. That is my final word. Thank you.
Thank you. And Joshua, just before you close, thank you, Dakame, for that. And everyone else, let us come out. But I also want to say thank you to Ramona Conan, the ULIO president. I just actually read her post that she's calling all of her members there on the north side to come to the convention. We also want to thank Hope as well. We see the beautiful comments displaying on the screen. I think we're going to count on the support of all of us, and definitely, I don't think anyone is going to come and win the crown from Ohio. But I don't want to be on record to state that, because there are other folks listening who are from other states, and they know as national president are supposed to be a representative of everyone. So I don't want after the convention I'll be put in a red chair or hot seat for, but I know the people of Columbus will come out to support their queen, to make sure that their queen wins. I can tell you there are queens coming from the DC metro area. There's a queen from New York and other places. So it's going to be a tough one, but I'm hoping that the best queen wins. So as president, just keep that neutrality and hope that the best queen wins.
Prezo, you're right to make your point clear, but according to the history city of Columbus, you kind of thinking can you to go back, my brother? I'm telling you for free. No matter who you are, you coming from New York, where you coming from, when it comes to supporting a queen from Columbus, when it comes to the Liberian community, we give that support. So I can assure you, if you're coming from New York, come prepare. If you're coming from any other state, come prepare. Because we in Columbus, we don't play. We'll make sure that Colombo win the crown for Cape Man County. Thank you.
Thank you.
For me, Mr. President, just leave that to me because I'm not in any position of power. I'm just chairing the convention so I can speak freely on the Queen. Ohio is not going to let the crown leave. So, and every other chapter that is coming, please come prepared because Ohio is not going to let the crown leave. Okay. And also, I want to emphasize on our meet and greet night chapter. Come prepared. We're going to have some karaoke fun. So come prepared. You can select whatever song you feel comfortable with. We will also kick up the convention with some fun of competition, doing karaoke. Please come prepared fully. Thank you.
Thank you.
Folks, I'm just thank you for tuning in and joining us here on the conversation. Our time has expired. Gentlemen are here calling on you on behalf of the local president here in Columbus. They want you to come and support the program. And so we are looking forward to seeing you. I will be there. As usual, what community or not, I am going to be there to support the people of Great Cape County. We're going to be having some very, very good time. Come around, see some good new friends and make some new friends, and you get to have some fun, folks. It's going to be very, very good. On that note, we want to say thank you very much for joining the
We'll be coming to you shortly to ask you to renew for a second time the mandate that you gave me 6 years ago. Young people, seize the day. Seize the movement.
And we take
Seize the opportunity. This is
on.
your time. This is our time. As we stand here today, let me assure you that the state of our nation is strong. The state of our nation is stable. The state of our nation is vibrant. The state of our nation is useful. The state of our nation is peaceful and secure. We intend to keep it this way.
The state of our nation is vibrant, is secure, is this and that, bro. I love Joshua. I love Joshua as an individual. This guy, and I tell people, my disagreement over who Joshua is different from his politics. Joshua must be recognized and continuously remain in the history of Liberia for the unimaginable role he played in the Liberian, soccer history. Nobody did that, And for me, I can tell anybody for free, you can argue that until Jesus can. You can't get me to support you. Politics, and I'm there with Joshua, And I was going to say something, and you could put a video on my man. And I see this man. Yeah, for me, I don't belong to any party, Yeah. And that's what I told somebody the other day. I say, let a good party wins. Anybody that is doing the work of the Liberian people, Joshua, then the Liberian people will elect October 10th. So for me, I limit my entire, strength on the stonation city of this whole argument on who they may wrong. They may no. I stop it because it's not helping. No matter how we argue, brother, the Liberian people has, they have concluded on who they want. No matter what we do, it's either Joshua or it's either Alexander Cummings, or it's either Joseph Boakai, or whoever. It's going to be one of them. Whoever that person is, they're going to win the election. So, bro, I thank you, man. And I think it was a nice show. I just want to say kudos to the leadership of Grand Cape County. And Joshua, we look forward to more of these kinds of awareness because, all of these supplemented efforts to promote the county initiatives is worthwhile, It's going to help all the county organization. And I want to add my voice to say Nubian Queens, you're one of the viable female organization in Columbus. You are noted for donations in Liberia everywhere. You are even in my county in Liberia, and I saw the donation you made, and I saw to what extent you went into the Western cluster. And I'm just saying, Nubian Queen, please, as strong and viable as you are, show off a Grand Cape Man program. Let's support them. This is the beginning of an enormous supportive initiative. All of us will hold hands together and support every county initiative. And Joshua, from now, I trust that anytime any county hold program now is going to be well attended. I can feel it.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, let you go, bro.
Listen to the Injure and Mary conversation, and maybe we can find a time to discuss our today's Christian way of praying. Just what.
Who is calling again?
Nigeria.
Can I at least eat?
They have called over 700,000 times.
Over 700,000 missed calls.
Yes.
Gabriel, let me have the phone.
God, every spirit of sporting bet, every spirit of crypto, God, come save my life. God, election they come. Give us better president. God, I beg.
Bala blue. Bulaba.
5 hours later.
God, I beg. God, now allow me to go Casablanca again in the name of Jesus. I don't go Casablanca. I know what I see for Casablanca. God, I will not go to Casablanca again in the name of Jesus. Your papa, they kill boys. They are lusting after you. You are a criminal.
Why do you brought me to this Nigeria? What is my sin? In a saving again.
Joshua, listen, between you and I, this show, anything that has to do with the kind of discussion, they're good for Sundays. Trust me. You know why I think so? Because I've stood in the church and thought about this. God is not deaf. Even though the Bible says God is not slack concerning his promises, but the way we pray sometimes.
Seriously?
I've learned. 2 minutes. So Joshua, think about it. You're the visionary. Bring it on a Sunday. Most time on Sunday when we come from church, we just sit down thinking about what to do, where to go.
Yeah.
Think about that time. That's the moment where it's captivating. Let it capture the minds of the Christians, the ministers, to be participants to the show, And look, if you want to do it, Joshua, make sure you got about 3 different ministers you talk to personally.
Right.
Let them come on the show. Let's discuss it because you know what? The new age methodology of prayer is taking over the globe, even when it comes to speaking in tongues. 2 days ago, my wife was playing a video of somebody speaking in tongues. And I told my wife, I said, that no more day tongue here. She said, what do you mean? I said, because you can hear the originality of the tongue. She said, what do you mean by that? I said, yeah, because you see that woman tongue is not photocopy. When me and my wife were on the same mission back in the day, our missionary, that how she used to speak in tongue. I said, yeah, when we were picking and I had the woman used to speak in tongue. Let's come to recent day tongue. I said, recent day tongue is not original. How? Because you know what? I want speak tongue. I want speaking tongue like Prophet Joshua Power. Da 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 da. Bo 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 bo. Bro, that machine gun we operating in now when we're speaking in tongue. you know what I'm talking about, Joshua. Ba 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 ba. Look, and the thing, it sometimes it gets so annoying the way Christians portray themselves with this whole thing. Is it in alignment with Scripture, bro? take your time, Joshua. Bring in people that are believing into the speaking of tongue and praying thing.
Correct.
And when you get but two of them, for instance, like our brother Elijah, these are praying guys, right?
Yeah.
My wife, praying people. Joshua, make sure you get 3 different praying people. Me and you, let's be on the opposite of the praying. Then we can tackle the praying people. All will be ministers, but we want to tackle the praying people. Let's come to the whole understanding the way the thing go today, brother. You saw that thing just now, right? Huh? God said, God for sure.
Well, they're quite a fool, you know what I mean? I've been teaching my church here for a very long time. People need to get it. Matthew chapter 6, go all the way down. He said, don't pray that God and get yellow. He said, go straight to the point. Close your door. Tell what you want to say. Why? You say? God saved my life. Election coming. You're a good president. And I don't work as a why you saying 1,000 stuff in 1 minute time? My brother, it was a good show. I just thought of bring that so that we just laugh about it.
Yeah, you're right, bro.
But I mean, I think we need to bring it out, to just get a couple of people. Yeah, I try to incorporate something in the program, but I want to get more pastor on. We discuss some controversial, topics, to bring on some of the issues unfolding in the Christian cycle. There's so many mistakes that we are making, so many things that we are not. We don't know. We are ignorant of, so we need to talk about this thing. But man,
but on a serious note, Joshua, before we go, another thing we need to talk about, void politics, would be election day. We need to talk about election. And I think let's come up with an idea. Let's bring other panelists. Let's talk about election day, because we want a free and fair election. We want a harmonized environment for electoral processes. But think about that, bro. We'll talk that off air, and then we can come up with ideas how to attack with that.
Yeah, we can do that. All right, my man. Have a good day, man.
Thank you, man.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, folks. I want to say thank you for joining us. I want to say this is how we come to the end of this podcast. Have yourself a very wonderful time, and God bless you. Stay away from trouble and be a good citizen. Liberia need you, and we need you.